What is going on, everyone? It's your boy, CJR Sports, and today we are back with you for another New York Giants podcast, news, topics, update, whatever you want to call it. We are back. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and like this video if you are enjoying all of the New York Giants content that I'm trying to come out for you guys. But let's get right into the video. The first thing I want to say, CBS is not a New York Giants fan. From the way that they are ranking us compared to the other NFL teams, they do not like us. I'm not going to say the teams in front of us or the teams behind us, but it kind of put you in perspective. I think the Giants can win 7 to 9 games, somewhere in there. There's going to be a game where we lose when, on paper we should win, and there's a game always every year. There's a game that we should always lose, and we end up pulling out a victory to that. So, CBS has us ranked from our total team roster 29th out of 32nd. I think there's teams with completely worse rosters with us. I think we should be middle of the pack in the 20s, maybe late teens, middle 20s, somewhere around that range. I would not argue anywhere around there. If we were from 16 up, I would definitely argue that we don't have that good of a roster. But I think offensive weapons, I think we have a good amount of offensive weapons, and I think our D-line's pretty good. But to give us 29th out of 32nd, I think it's just disrespectful. CBS has been not liking the New York Giants for some time, and you're going to, I believe, hear their name one more time. This one's for the better, not for... This is more of a rookie than the actual New York Giants. But they ranked the top 5 edge rushers expected on a rookie production. And Kayvon Thibodeaux was number 1. Aiden Hutchinson number 2. Sam Williams number 3. George Karlaftis number 4. And Jermaine Johnson number 5. So, number 1 overall selection, Trevon Walker wasn't even up there, which is crazy to me. And Sam Williams, I believe, was a third-round pick for the Cowboys, and he's up there. The rest were all first-round picks. But, wow. I think we have someone special in Kayvon Thibodeaux. Michael Strahan has been saying it. I think we have someone really special. And so I just feel like the New York Giants do not kind of waste his talent. Him and Azeez Ojulari, I think, should be a great duo for the future together. Like I've been saying, I just hope they both are able to get 8+ sacks this year, so we can just see hope. I think that's all we're looking for, is some hope. If Kayvon has 12, congratulations. If Azeez goes for make a step up, let's go with a stupid number or a crazy number like 15, 16, fantastic. But I just want to see production on both sides. I would hate to see one player starts going off and getting double teamed, and then Azeez or Thibodeaux can't get off a one-on-one block. That's what kills us. When you have average pass rushers like we had in the past, Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Ximines, like Kane Brown, like that hurts. If you cannot beat a one-on-one block, like if your edge rusher can control 2, we have people in the middle that can make plays. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, like we have people in the middle that can beat those one-on-ones. Dexter Lawrence is on run plays, he's getting double teamed, and then Leonard Williams is getting double teamed the majority of the game. If Thibodeaux and Azeez can take that step up that we expect them to, and to be able to get off those single, those one-on-one blocks, that should really help out our defense with a team that has not the best secondary. Probably the weakest part of our team is our secondary. The pass rush is the only way to make your secondary look much, much better than what it really is. And that has to start with Azeez and Kayvon Thibodeaux. So you kind of heard me talk about our weakest spot being the secondary, unfortunately. Logan Ryan being cut due to being like a Joe Judge defensive guy. He was kind of the captain of the defense. Joe Judge loved him. Joe Shane, Brian Dable were trying to get those type of players out of our locker room. He was the biggest vocal leader. That's the reason why he was cut, not because his play kind of took a step down. He was great last year for us. I'm gonna miss Logan Ryan. He was a great player, great leader. The players really rallied around behind him. So when he was released, it kind of took a shot to some of the players. Jabril Peppers, he just wasn't retained. I think if he didn't get injured, I think he would have been retained. I'm a big Jabril Peppers guy. I know he's not much of a coverage guy, but with Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, and if we said Logan Ryan, like, he didn't have to be a coverage guy. And especially when we have some lackluster linebackers, he was able to kind of fill that void and fill that hole of him and like Blake and I'm all of a sudden Tay Crowder, I'm just blanking on his name. We're able to kind of fill that void, at linebackers, be able to lay the hit. And without him, we're definitely gonna be missing that and missing, a little bit more juice on the defense side of the ball, for sure. And James Bradbury, kind of a quiet guy, doesn't talk a lot, but he was easily our best corner over the last 2 seasons. He was a Pro Bowler in 2020. 2021 did not play as good, but he was still very successful, one of the best corners in the league last year. And unfortunately, he got cut due to cap casualty. We weren't able to retain him after the draft. We thought, either Derek Stingley or Sauce Gardner could be a player that we decided to pick. That didn't fall to us at 5 and or 7. So we got Kayvon Thibodeaux and Evan Neal, which I think fit more of a need for us during that time. But, James Bradbury is definitely going to be missed. And the last piece of our defense that won't be missing, but we can't just let it happen, is Adoree Jackson. Half the reason why he was let go by the Tennessee Titans was not his play on the field. It's just he could not stay on the field. He was always injured. His injury history is not good. But he's going to be our cornerback 1. We're paying him, I would say, a little bit under cornerback 1 money. But I'm telling you right now, if he plays the way that that James Bradbury came into New York and played, he's going to get an extension this offseason, because I feel like we want to take away his cap hit for next year to be able to sign some bigger free agents. But if he can have a massive impact on this defense, he'll be in line for an extension, because he's only 26 now. He'll be 27 off this extension, and this will be like his 3rd contract. So we just talked about the weakest part of our defense. Let's get to the strongest part of our offense, or the strongest part of our team, which is considered to be our offensive weapons. And this is all according to PPF. I brought in the players and my thought about the players, but PPF and I personally do agree with Pro Football Focus here, is that the defense, the secondary, is the weakest part of our team, and probably our playmakers are the strongest part of our team, if I had to guess, as well as Pro Football Focus is also saying this. We have Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson. For right now, still we still have Darius Slayton, Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida. And we didn't even name the tight ends because we don't know who's going to be starting for us. But, we definitely have some names on the roster that if everyone can be healthy all at the same time, I think that's the biggest thing for the Giants, is having everyone be healthy on both sides of the ball, so we can get the maximized production on, defense and on offense. So, I would like to see a healthy Saquon. I want to see a healthy Kadarius Toney. Those are the 2 players I'm really excited to see. And Kenny Golladay, we're spending so much money for him. Technically, all of his guaranteed money is up after this year. He could be cut. So he's really fighting for a job. He's really fighting, to finish out the rest of his contract with New York right here, with the season. So I hope he does well. I would love Kenny Golladay to be a Giant for the next 3 years. Or after this year, the next 2 years, I want him to be a Giant. I fought for him over Twitter. You can find my old tweets. I fought for him. I wanted him on the Giants so bad. So bad. I just want him to play like it. We need Kenny Golladay to play like an absolute animal. And Wan'Dale, he can sit for, kind of a year, play the back half of, this year, kind of learn the offense. I think him, Kadarius Toney, is going to be a dangerous combo if we can have that stud outside presence, and hopefully that it's won by Kenny Golladay. I think we can have a very solid receiver core for the future. I don't think Darius Slayton's really going to make it to the end of this year. That's my personal opinion. But if he does, he'll be our fifth option on this team. And so, I mean, it's interesting to see. And then Matt Breida is going to be our receiving back. And he's going to be the guy that's going to be in the room that kind of helps and knows the Brian Daboll offense that the guys are so desperately needing to know, and really help Daniel Jones out and Saquon Barkley out. Matt Breida is really there to be another voice of reason and kind of help the guys out, be another kind of coach for everyone on the offense side of the ball. And so, speaking about kind of Daniel Jones and Brian Daboll, Daniel Jones said this in a press conference, told the Giants Huddle podcast, "I'm excited. When you look at both of those guys," he's talking about our head coach and offensive coordinator, "they've had offenses in place, and that's been fun to watch." Daniel Jones said to the Giants Huddle podcast, "It's exciting for all of us to be a part of that. We understand that there's a lot of work to be done before we get there, but we're excited for what we can be." That's going to take some time, though, Daniel. I think he knows this. This definitely could be his last year in New York, and definitely his last year being a full-time starting quarterback. Truthfully, I don't want to rebuild another quarterback. I don't want another quarterback. I don't want to have to go through the rebuilding, going quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. That's so annoying to me. If Daniel Jones is our guy, and the way that they were able, Brian Daboll was able to change Josh Allen in Buffalo, I want that for Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is going to be our guy, I want to see it this year. Don't give him a contract because he played average football. He needs to have a breakout year, and it has to be this year to get a contract. And if he doesn't, I don't want him on the Giants. I will restart with him the quarterback. I don't want to, but I will. A few things before we go. Speaking about Brian Daboll, what's crazy to me when I didn't write down the source or who said that or who ranked these head coaches, but Brian Daboll was ranked 22nd in head coaching rankings. But the craziest thing is he hasn't even coached a game yet as a head coach, and he's already 10 spots above people. That's wild to me. That's really saying a lot about what he did in Buffalo and what everyone thinks he's going to do in New York, just from OTA's minicamp and now coming close to training camp. That's crazy to me. And I hope Brian Daboll really is the truth, because we need a coach. Having a coach in place, and then a GM and a coach in place that can really mesh and mold together like they did in Buffalo, to have that for the future, to be able to bring that to New York. And when they probably next year they're going to be able to pick their quarterback, should really help them. And the last thing I want to bring up, it's another Bleacher Report thing. Like I said, Bleacher Report and CBS really do not be liking the New York Giants lately, but Bleacher Report came out with an article, the 3 players that the New York Giants should be considered trading. You already know what I'm going to say is I made a couple videos about it already, but Saquon Barkley has always been a name for some reason in trade conversations, because one time in a press conference, Joe Shane was asked about is there anyone that you're willing not to trade. At the time, it was just Kadarius Toney, and then Kadarius Toney had trade rumors, And then they're like, how about Saquon? They said no one's safe really besides Kadarius Toney. And then everyone was like, the Giants are going to trade Saquon. Giants are shopping Saquon. Giants are shopping Saquon. It was like, we were really never shopping Saquon. And then everyone just wants us to shop Saquon because he's so good and stop wasting talent, which there's some truth in, to my opinion, to that, which I don't want to see Saquon's talent wasted. I just want him to be in a New York Giants uniform showing off that talent. That's my thought process. But Saquon obviously is going to be one. Darius Slayton's an obvious number 2. He's getting teams, getting second team reps. He's even been in conversation for third team reps. I've seen. So he's not even working with Daniel Jones anymore. So I could definitely see him getting shipped. And that was that weird Mike Clay trade that he made. Straight up Myles Gaskins for Darius Slayton. We could definitely see Darius Slayton go for, an an earlier third day pick. I don't see the Giants getting more than a 4th for him. I think that's also very high, but he's young, he's a big body, he has upside if you want to consider that. So, I mean, there's definitely things to take and consider for him. He was a 5th round pick out of Auburn. If we are able to get a 5th round pick out of him, at least we're able to get something for him and, kind of get the same draft compensation we drafted him for. That'd be the best thing, which I would like that. The last one that kind of took me by surprise is Blake Martinez, especially with how bad our linebackers are. I know everyone thinks a lot of people think we're going to go get LJ Fort, who worked with Wink Martindale, who's a little bit older, that can bring that veteran presence and to kind of show the guys what Wink Martindale showing in their scheme. I would consider trading away Blake Martinez only for that, only if we are able to get LJ Fort. If not, we need to keep Blake Martinez. He's the rock of our defense. When he was on the field, he's been so good for us. And he's only owed like $7 million. So I'm okay paying my starting Mike linebacker $7 million. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing for more Giants and NFL content all year long. Like this video if you're a Giants fan and you want more of these type of videos. And it's your boy, CJR Sports, and I'm out. Peace, guys.